like performance where we won pretty much every quarter except for the second where we tied 8-8. And some of that in the second quarter was with my adjustments with substitution patterns. I wanted to throw something out there that we hadn't done all year, and that was to go really big with Paige at guard and Laya and Precious, and it kind of killed us in transition a little bit. Defensively didn't hurt us. I like seeing Laya and Precious playing together, but killed us transition, killed our offense a little bit. So that affected us, but overall, Libby Basilak, what can you say about her? 16 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover. And then I think arguably one of the better games that Nina Aho has played, 4 for 8, 2 for 4 with 13 points and 4 assists and only 1 turnover. And then what Amanda Caitlin did with defending. Number 2 for them, the Johnson woman, is a very good player and a great driver. And Amanda did a great job of keeping her in front of her and coming up with some timely blocks. So, the Duquesne Dukes guarded somebody. That feels pretty good that we actually guarded and did a nice job.
Speaking on that defensive effort, where would you say, I know it's just after the game now, but where would you say a performance like this ranks with it being so fresh in your mind for this season?
I don't know. I don't really rank them. I've really never ranked them. I'll tell you a story. I was just with the St. Bonaventure coach, and I told him this one. We've had a local high school coach who's a good friend, who's a local legend, who's not coaching right now, and he's been coming to our practice. I was kind of bemoaning our defense there, especially early in the year, that we couldn't guard anyone. And he said to me, Danny, I come to your practice 3 times a week. The reason why is because 80% of your practice is offense. No wonder why you can't guard anyone. So we took that little bit of enlightenment and started guarding a little bit more in practice. And I thought the kids have really done a pretty nice job of guarding over the last, 5-6 games. And we've had our hiccups and our mistakes, but overall, good performance.
Which coach was this, and what made you bring them in?
It's just a good friend who's a local high school coach who is not coaching, and he loves basketball, and all of our practices are open, and so we always have people there. We had a couple people there today just to watch, and you always like to hear a little bit of advice from people that you trust and that you believe in. And he doesn't want me to say his name, so that's why I won't say it.
We've talked a lot in the past about what Precious has been able to do. A couple of and one plays today where she was really able to finish post moves and get to the basket. Just what do you see as she continues to grow, and how does tonight help that?
Precious Johnson, I said a couple games ago, is going to be a really good player in the Atlantic 10, and that's very clear. 4 for 5 from the field, 8 points and 7 rebounds, very efficient. She had 3 turnovers, but 2 of those are 3-second calls, and I'll take those all day long, because if she got called for 3 seconds, it means there were 7 other times when she was in the lane for longer than 3 seconds, and that's advantage us at that point. So I'll give up a possession every once in a while for her to be able to sit in the paint like she was. What we haven't seen from Precious yet is she actually can shoot the 3-ball, and we haven't popped her yet. When we start picking and popping with her, I think that you're going to see somebody who's got a chance to be very, very good in the long term.
Nina's somebody that's obviously had a lot of highs and lows in her time at Duquesne. You said this is one of her better efforts. How can a game like this kind of get her going and keep that urgency and that motivation, that drive moving?
Nina is arguably our best guard defender, and it's hard for me to say that because Libby and Amanda do a pretty good job also. We're not giving up nearly as many straight line drives, and Nina guards, and Nina needs to feel confident scoring the ball, and what we did a little tweak was after talking with her and watching some film, we had really been playing her more at the 2 and the off guard instead of the point. And Nina in her career has only played point guard for the Hungarian national team and her various teams back home. So in the last 2 practices and in tonight, we've tried to move her more to handle being the primary ball handler, and I think that's translated into her shooting the ball with a little bit more confidence. But she, in the last two practices, she's driven the ball really strongly to the basket, accepted contact, something that she didn't do early in the season, and she's playing better basketball as we progress into late January, early February.
When the ball maybe isn't going in at the clip you're looking for in the second quarter, you've maybe tried to find ways to score, find ways to get stops. How much do you appreciate the fact that they were able to get those stops tonight and kind of keep the game at least where it was at and at least keep some momentum on your side?
I was incredibly happy with how we defended tonight, because Bonaventure is the team that I always say it's like going to the dentist office. Dr. Jesse Fleming likes to extract teeth. The way that they play, they're a team that will embarrass you if you don't know personnel. And if you don't touch, talk, and take defensively, they will embarrass you with slips. And they're a very smart basketball team, and they're very well coached. Tonight, we defended very well. We knew personnel very well. That's something that we've harped on over the last 3 games that we had to get better at, and we did. And so when you see our post players not going above the free throw line to guard anyone, not watching our guards going out to guard 2 and 11 beyond the 3-point arc, that's knowing your personnel and being disciplined in what you're doing, and really setting our team up for success defensively.
I know this is probably a loaded question and one you probably don't like me to ask, but how does this game, maybe with the way that Bonaventure plays, make sure that the ladies didn't overlook tonight with maybe what was coming up ahead?
What's coming up ahead?
VCU, among others.
Oh. That's my answer to that.
It's a fair answer.
we literally do not think more than one game ahead. With the challenging year that we have, with not having a home, it's a very challenging year for us, and so we literally are taking it one game at a time. We will watch a ton of film of VCU tonight. The old adage of celebrating until midnight or drown your sorrows to midnight is a little different this year. We'll go home and have some cookies and milk, and then we're going to start watching VCU tonight because we have to be prepared. I couldn't tell you much about VCU because I was completely focused on Bonaventure, just like the rest of our team.
28 points in the paint tonight, and you were a plus 18 in that statistic. Just what do you think allowed you guys on both ends of the ball to find success in the paint and value the paint tonight?
Well, when you shoot the three, like we did, you take away Kirsten or Paige's shots were really good shots. We shot the three pretty well tonight, and then we just had a size advantage. We took advantage of it. We're not the biggest team in the league, but we're pretty darn close to it. And when you can play Laya and Precious together, that's two very effective offensive post players. I appreciate you supporting women's basketball. Thank you for being here.